Okay, yes, we're coming back again. Yes, this is Victor Mosley from my podcast, Out in Black. Check out my YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. Again, Out in Black. Let's get started. Now, today's topic will be something that's dear to my heart. Is the topic is ode to my years of mental health. It's a love affair. You can say that. I'm quite fond of it. Now, I must sound the alarm on mental health for the legacy of mental health professionals. This will be a positive post, but it will be a bit critical as well. But in the sense of learning, by not putting faith in unfaithful people. Probably the verse in Proverbs 25:19 will kind of give you a sense of the content of this post. Now, just a little discussion on recent incidents in Louisville, Kentucky, and possibly other locations that go through upheaval, but they manage to handle them expertly on a day-to-day basis. Of course, I'm not, in the sense, criticizing the incident in Louisville, Kentucky at the hospital, at Peace Hospital, but I know I was let's say attacked not by patients but by the nursing supervisor in a way that he felt that he could tell me how to do my job. Now, this was a short little man, a short little white man that felt that he could impose on me instructions on how to conduct myself in my profession. Yes, did you understand that? Mental health is not a, let's say, you're going to do it my way or you're going to be out of here. That's not mental health. If you wish to do that, you can go to McDonald's and tell them how to make hamburgers, and then they'll make them the same way all the time. Mental health is not McDonald's. Okay? Mental health is not an assembly line at a car manufacturer. Mental health is fluid at all times, meaning each and every patient is different. Their behaviors, their crises, their incidents, their thought process is all different, and it could be anything at any time. So you have to remain not rigid in your thinking, but you have to remain open and available to all options in order to what? Produce the correct outcomes. Now, I tell you, that's why I always have a problem with wrong leaders. I had a problem with some wrong leaders in the United States Army when I was in there. You know, I have a problem with how in mental health, how can a leader have an attitude when the patients, it's not about you. It's about the patient's ability to receive the help they deserve. I mean, I could go on and on and on about all the patients that I've talked to, the hundreds of patients that I've had discussions and we've just connected on a metaphysical basis, on a humanistic basis, because I always gave each and every patient the respect they deserve. Because their journey, their situation, their crises, I did not cause. Although it may seem to some patients, they come in the building, they blaming everybody but themselves for their condition. But we ignore that because what? We're the medical, well, not medical, we're the mental health professionals. We must understand that we can be the cause of their problems or we can be the solution for their problems. You can't take anything personal in mental health. And for when that happened to me, of course, there was a moment I turned in my keys. I could no longer be effective there because no one's going to tell me, and I'm not going to second guess myself when I'm inside a behavioral health hospital. Because you know why? Swinging back around to what happened in Louisville, Kentucky, because it'll get dangerous. If I'm my thoughts are double-minded. Remember that phrase, you can look that up. A double-minded person is unstable, in everything they do. That's why you have to know what you are bringing to the table and what your work philosophy is in mental health. You can't try to mirror somebody else's work philosophy. You got to have your own technique. And I've always supported all my coworkers in anything they have done, any of their approach to patients. I did not second guess them. I did not do anything. I mean, even if I've had an issue with somebody, we always took it to the back. We don't discuss things like that in front of anybody. So now, exactly, staff turning on each other is not productive. It certainly is dangerous, and not in the sense that staff is going to fight each other. When you turn on each other, that means you stop trusting each other. When staff stops trusting each other, that's when you open those cracks to things happening to you, people getting harmed. You have to trust each other. Of course, then you got to have fun. You got to have fun. Having fun means you got to tell each other the truth. Or every situation happens, and you got to hold each other accountable. Everybody got to be accountable. Now, behavioral health should be exactly what it is. It's not being sympathetic to the patients and what they've done. That's not what they need. They need your expertise. They need you to ask them why they've stayed in a condition they've stayed in. Do you want to help those patients? You have to ask them the questions, and you have to let them explain themselves, and then ask them, well, what do you plan to do going forward with your life? I mean, they ask you to say, well, I thought you were the expert. No, you're the expert in your life because you're the only one in your body. I'm not the expert in your life. You're the expert in your life. You tell me, how will you progress forward? How will you do things moving forward? You can make, of course, suggestions on things that will be tried, or the resources or the therapies that they can undergo, or the let's say the routines they can create for themselves, and have them, pick one that they wish, to pick the one that they wish, but you can't make the choices for them. Now, let me speed up a little bit. Now, of course, put in some black folk sense on it. Now, if you have somebody in mental health and they're continuously not responding to the treatment, the professional terms is they are a treatment failure. Now, put some black folk sense to it. In the black community, we would call that trifling. In other words, being stupid just because you can. So, let me say it again. The professional terms in mental health is when the patient is not responding to treatment, or it's not participating in treatment, or it's not, doing the things that are necessary to show that this patient is actually wants to be in treatment, then they will be deemed a treatment failure. Now, in the black community, put some black folk sense to it, we call that trifling. The trifling means, in black folks' wording, being stupid just because you can. Okay? Now, and let me, one thing before I get to the close here, let me say, it's always been an issue for me about the mental health community has been overpopulated with women. Now, men, you're supposed to be the big, the strong, the powerful, and you cannot handle mental health. Why is it that all the nurses, the techs, everywhere I've been, and I'm still working in mental health, I'm still working in behavioral health, that the majority of the staff is female? I thought men, I mean, you all want to be like what's going on around in America now. Men have been neutered, men have been, knocked, but they're not. Men have been knocked down, men have been, oh my goodness, men have been, oh, they're being knocked down. I'm not understanding if you wish the glory and honor due your sex or your gender, then start showing it. Get into some of the fields that need your help. Now, in conclusion, mental health is not a place to seek an income in the sense that the job requires more of you. It requires more from you. How can I say this? Mental health is not a place to find yourself if you are still confused about who you are. Mental health is not difficult. It can only be difficult if you choose to deviate from the rules even for a second. What do I mean by that? Deviate from the rules. Like when I was conducting myself still in mental health, as I do today in mental health, I stay to the rules as much as I possibly can. I mean, I know nobody's perfect. There are no absolutes but God. But other than that, I mean, I try to stay up to the 100% level as much as I can. Of course, I'm not perfect. Maybe I say I do about 99.95%. That way, you never have to worry about making mistakes or deviate from the rules because a patient is trying to be nice to you and asking you to, let's say Vincent, in mental health and behavioral health, the menu is decided by the dietitian. If the patient comes to you and say, hey, can you go get me some McDonald's? What should the answer be? There's only two choices. I mean, what could the answer be? Yes or no, right? What do you think my answer is? No. You can't deviate because you're not their friend. You're not there to be their friend. Now, of course, as a human being, you can show some basic human, connection as far as everybody's human. But other than that, you're not their friend. You're not their buddy. You are their mental health professional. And by law, anyway, I mean, you have a power advantage over them. So you can't be their friend. So cut that out. Now, if you decide to do that, then what you're doing by trying to be a friend, and you create a rift in the functioning of a functioning mental health facility, behavioral health. Of course, I always say, and I continue to do that today, a patient is less likely to harm you if they feel they know you. Of course, you need to interact with the patients. It's not there. You're not there to ignore them or just be irritated by them. No, you're there to interact with the patients. When the patients feel that they know you, they will be less likely to harm you. So yes, in that sense, of course, you must interact with the patient on a level that allows them to have some connection to you and have an understanding that you have their best interests at heart, meaning you will conduct yourself according to the program that has been outlined by the facility, by the therapist, by the psychologist. That's what you're there to do. You're there to maintain the rules and the adherence to their treatment plan. You're not there to create your own plan. You can do that when you become licensed, you become a therapist yourself, then you can do what you want to do. But somebody else has already laid the plan out for them. That's what you follow. That's what you tell them. No, I can't do that because the treatment plan states that you cannot have that. Your meals are already been, laid out for you according to what your dietary needs are. And just one example. But anyway, again, I'll leave it right there. Again, I'm Victor Mosley. The podcast is Out in Black. Hey, let's get this thing going. Hit that subscribe button on my YouTube channel. Let's keep this thing going.